Dime de, dime de nuevo, ¿qué estás, Castillo? Mira, papi. Papi, Draconics. La cosa es que casteando no... It doesn't sound right para castear, ¿no? Castillo. Mate, that's fire. that should be the word, puppy. That should be the word. Yeah, true. You haven't cast enough lately. You need to do your part, Kappa. Like, we will have a week to recover. Also, like, cast everything. Oh my god. Speaking of, here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the ace player of the CranKy Ducklings, hailing from the land of the Americas. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the American Protoss player representing Team Licensed to Kill LPK. It is Nina. So here we go, Nina up against Vindicta. Arguably the ace players of their respective teams. But again, of course, recently we have seen players like Vindicta come out on top. And I definitely will say that Vindicta is the favorite here. But it's a best of 3, you know, it's early in the morning. Vindicta was up late last night drinking. Shaking my head, Vindicta. He was having a drunk stream. Asher was a part of that stream as well. Asher, how could you condone such acts from our son, from our boy? God damn it. God damn it, Asher. So yeah, we'll see how this all turns out. Again, because it's a best of 3, it could still go either way, as we do see Vindicta going for a double gas opener here in his main, which means he's going to be that much more aggressive. It means he isn't going to be going for a CC. Nina has been able to see this, okay, was able to get in with her probe earlier, so she's fully aware that there's no going to be like fast like CC on the high ground or any kind of like fake out like that. There should be a factory coming out. So some nice scouting information here from our Protoss player. Nice scouting indeed. Meanwhile, I'm sure if Asher was here, he'd be very giving us some profound knowledge about the build, about the opener. To be fair, I say some profound knowledge. Vindicta is streaming his POV, and Vindicta doesn't have a stream delay, so technically you could just, you know, could just watch that and just look into the future. It's possible. It's possible. As the Reaper is going to head out across the map, just poke and prod here on the front door, confirm that there is a Nexus being taken on the low ground, and we'll back off from there. Reaper production has continued, as well as Hellion production, so Vindicta is going to be looking to dive in towards that natural base and break on through. And so far, I think we're going to have a lot of success here, especially because there is no wall. The tech was thrown down in the main base, not as a part of the wall on the low ground. So yeah, the likelihood of this getting through and getting probe damage done is pretty high. I do worry a little bit here. The gateway is thrown down. Even if we do have a unit as a part of the wall, I mean, the Reapers are going to make short work of that, as we do have the first 2 Reapers and the Hellion rock up. Ooh, but they don't get anything. I worry that we revealed our hand a little bit too soon, because we have a second Hellion and more Reapers coming. Already the wall is being worked on. Vindicta looking for some multi-pro grass is going to be able to go into the main base with these Reapers, go into the natural with these Hellions, going to try and pull Nina apart. But again, Nina is aware that there are Hellions, so she should be able to wall off, and that is, well, she splits up anyway. She does have a couple units in position. There we go, the Hellions, they dive in towards the natural anyway. The probes are going to be lining up, and 2 probes are going to go down, but so far only 2. The surrounds are good enough. 1 Reaper will get picked off. And after all is said and done, we are trading 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions for 4 probes. Could have been a lot worse here for Nina, and I do think that she's coming out okay here after this opener. Back behind this across the map, we do see tank production here. We have one on the low ground, we're going to have a second one on the high ground, just so we can cover our bases and make sure we are able to defend against the Blinkstalker follow-up. That's the other important thing, is that Vindicta did get into the main, and Vindicta did see the Twilight Council, and he saw it researching, so he's fully aware about not just the Twilight Council, but also the gateway counts, as that we do have 3 gates. Not overly aggressive, but we can apply pressure anyway, and with the help of this Raven, we should be able to deal with any kind of observer coming across the map. So, Looking at the vision here for Vindicta, he wasn't able to spot the Robo, but again, he is getting in position anyway for those Wing Stalkers. Vindicta will have the option to either stay at home here or go across the map. If he wants to play it safe, staying at home would be the wisest choice, because for all he knows, there could be a DT follow-up, and DTs could be coming across the map as well, so Vindicta wants to be safe. As Nina on 2 bases from here is going straight into a robotics bay. Oh my god. Interesting. It's interesting, especially because in this matchup I feel like a lot of Protoss players prefer greed, and we do have this 3rd base now, but I think we can all agree, especially after cleaning up the Reaper and the Hellion, we probably could have been more greedy from here. We probably could have seen this 3rd base much faster from Nina, and I feel like we would have from any other Protoss player, but Nina wants to be more aggressive instead, going for that bay, going for a faster Colossus. So an interesting choice is on brand, as Nina is a more aggressive player overall. We do see the Stalkers moving out across the map. We do have the Observer in position, just out of range here of the cliff of the Raven, so it is safe and sound. And Nina will have the option to poke and prod, maybe commit to the main, but I doubt we're going to face check. I hope we don't face check. There we go. Nina's gonna be able to, ooh, not pick off a Marine. Oh my god. A very slight micro there, but very cute, very sexy from Vindicta, able to just barely bait that out, get a couple of shots off on the army. At the same time, Raven gets across the map, and we are gonna see a little bit of auto turret harass, and also scout the Robo. Are we gonna see the Colossus? Oh, we barely missed the Colossus. You know, across the map, Depot is going to go down. Ooh, Stalkers do take a couple of volleys to the face though. And looking at the vision, there we go, the Colossus is revealed. Very nice scout here from Vindicta. Now he's fully aware of how fast that robotics bay was, how many Colossus are going to be across the map once he does move out. And on top of that, he gets 4 probe kills. Not bad at all. That's when I go to sleep. Hold on, I'm catching up in the chat. Ladder stream later? Ah! The drinking was not the problem. The problem was that we were playing Protoss in teams. Oh no. Nothing is stronger than family. Oh god. It's the glue that holds Voltron together. We're not even casting together, Asher, and the memes are already too strong in the chat. It's too much, Papi. It's too much. Ah! Meanwhile, here we go. Vindicta is going to be moving out with a surprisingly sparse army here. The majority of his bio is in this double drop. The double drop does go unscouted, and it is going to be able to deal a lot of damage here. At the same time, Vindicta is trying to push on forward. We do have a disable on one of those Colossus, but no buffer for the tanks. A questionable move here. I mean, the Marauders are going to be able to take down one of those Colossi, but at the cost of 3 tanks. Was this worth it? I don't know, Buffy. I don't know. Again, looking at the units tab here, yeah, 3 tanks did go down. Like, I appreciate the multi-prong attack, don't get me wrong, but because of the charge loss, maybe Vindicta wasn't too sure of the army composition, but those 3 tanks were left completely exposed, and that is going to take away a lot of the pushing power here of Vindicta. Oh boy. We see Nina happily macroing here on her 3 bases. We have disruptors now on the way. We still only have a single Colossus, so right now Nina is a little bit vulnerable, and I think Vindicta is aware of that as we move out, and he could try and focus fire this Colossus, but we have plenty of gateway units here to help defend. The Stalkers, beautifully, they stay out of range of that scan. We have that auto tower coming in. We do have the blink on forward as well, and Vindicta's going to lose everything here in the middle of the map. Again, was just unaware of the size of that army. At the same time, we have a couple of Wood Mines waddling into the natural base. Oh! Oof! Oh! 15 workers going down. We have another drop here into the main base as well. This may force Nina all in, but no, she turns around. I don't know if that's the wisest choice. Forge is going to be taken down. Upgrades denied. This suddenly becomes a great move here from Vindicta. It was a bit of a costly move when it comes to his army, and that is what I'm a little bit concerned about. but Nina didn't counterattack. I was worried that if Nina pushed out across the map, this third base would be gone. Like, there would be zero mining here and he'd be forced to lift up and maybe even lose his natural. But no, Nina stayed at home instead. So the defensiveness, the passivity here of Nina is going to be working out in favor of Vindicta. He gets away with maybe throwing away a little bit too much of his army. He gets away with pulling off that drop, and he's going to be pretty fine here across the map. Oh, as Nina's going to be a little bit cheeky. Oh boy. Fourth base on the way here for Nina. Second rover for double disruptor production. You'll love to see it. Pretty interesting that Nina opted to continue disruptor production and not try to go for more Colossus and really round out the army. Meanwhile, here comes that Nova. Oh boy, we have the scan, and Vindicta is going to try and head on over here. We do see a Nova going off. The splits are amazing. Oh my god, nothing gets taken down, and the disruptor does get sniped. Oh. Oh my god. Vindicta. Miguelito, calm down, papi, calm down. Well, maybe it's a wise choice then for Nina to prioritize her disruptor production and not go for Colossus right now. We do have 1 Colossus and 3 disruptors. Again, this will help. This will kind of be this issue. This kind of army issue will be alleviated once the second robo gets up and running. And now here we go. 2 disruptors are being made at a time. We should be going back into Colossi soon. I say that, but we do have a decent amount of Vikings available, so maybe Nina is done with Colossus. She's like, you know what, disruptors, they're just better in every way, shape, and form. And in some ways they are. They're good as long as your opponent can't split. But Miguelito, Vindicta, he is known for his splits. His 4th base is going to be on the way. Liberator production has commenced. We have +1 air attack on the way as well to help out those libs. Vindicta going to be having such a great anti-ground toss army. Doesn't have the libs yet though, so I'm a little bit concerned. He scans, he sees the army, he wants to try and take a fight, but is it the wisest choice to fight before we get our liberators? So they are just now moving out across the map. Okay, Vindicta, he's going to be chilling, he's going to be waiting for his reinforcements. Bearing in mind that Vindicta is going to go for 1 big frontal push, isn't going to try and go for a drop in the midst of this. Does have a drop available on the left-hand side, to be fair. Ooh. Nice EMP. First Nova does go off on a Widowmine. We have 4 more Novas behind this. There's the disable on a disruptor. Obviously the army stimming on forward here again. Decent EMPs. We're waiting for those Novas. Where are they? There we go. The first one goes off. Does connect with a ghost. At the same time, that drop has been left alone. He hasn't gone for anything yet. We see the blink on forward as well. And there may just be a little bit too much here. Another Nova goes off, only connecting with a mine. But this will just keep forcing Vindicta back. And where are those liberators? We had them coming out earlier. Oh god, Vindicta trying to stim away. Oh. Forced in an awkward direction, and the liberators are being used defensively at home, actually. And Vindicta does drop in supply here. He didn't take any major losses to these disruptors, but again, it was just a really bad angle, both of attack and also of retreat. Oh boy, and this army is looking a little bit heavily stimmed here as well. Oh. First Nova connecting, second Nova also getting a single Marauder. And there's no real way here for Vindicta to really push in. It looks like he's going to have to give up this 3rd base. The rest of the army is coming in. Oh no! Oh, that was so close. Vindicta's playing with fire right now, but it's not going to work out. The Novas connect. Vindicta loses his entire army. GG gets called, and Nina will take the first game. Oh my god. I see constant A mover in the chat. The shaft of Ultron. Voltron! It's not... This is something that I noticed in the cast, by the way. I was looking at the chat. There were a couple of people... There was like Thorn69 as well. There were a couple of people in the chat that were mishearing us. It's not the shaft of Ultron. That doesn't make any sense. The reason why it's Voltron is because Voltron is when all the mechs come together, you know, to turn into like the Power Ranger, right? Megatron, or whatever it's called. So yeah, that's why it's not Ultron. Ultron is from Marvel. Ultron is the AI robot man. Doesn't make any sense. God damn it. Oh boy, as we are getting into our second game of this series. But I'm catching up in the chat. Indeed. No, Asher, no. Ah. It's Voltron. Ah. Right, here we go as we get into game number 2. And it's going to be on Data Under the Sea. My bad, Voltron Kappa. As if it matters. I don't know if it does. Oh god. So here we go. We are loading on in to our second game of this series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea. We have the American Terran player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the American Protoss player representing License to Kill LTK. It is Nina. Oh boy, here we go. Nina with a nice lead in this series. Vindicta, again, I was really concerned after that first push where he did move out with those three, he did move out and he did kind of lose 3 tanks for nothing. He kind of made up for it afterwards with the follow-up aggression, getting 16 probes, which was insane, by the way. And both players were essentially able to max out as well. But yeah, I did feel like, God, I already... God, I already said it. Shaking my head steadfast, shaking my head. As all 3 streams have converged here, and oh boy, I wish the best of luck here to Vindicta. You know, he's been in worse positions before. Can he bring it back? The answer is yes, of course he can. It's goddamn Vindicta, papi. But we'll see what his road to recovery is going to be like. We see the double gas opener once again. Vindicta not going to be going for a fast CC on the low ground. Looking to go into a faster factory instead, as Nina is poking and prodding and hasn't gone into check, actually. Just trying to be as annoying as possible here on the low ground, and there is that factory. So we'll see kind of where this takes us. Last game we did open up with double Hellion and 3 Reapers, but no, we're going to be seeing something a little bit different here, going straight into that reactor instead. So Vindicta is going to be mixing things up. And Nina's going to be not in the dark as... Oh, there we go. For a moment there, the wall wasn't a wall, but Nina did not go up into the main base, so Vindicta getting a little bit lucky there, keeping his build hidden. Meanwhile, across the map, Reaper goes into the main, but the wall is a wall as well, so it doesn't get fully in, is unable to at least spot the second pylon. Ooh, does dance against this Stalker, is able to barely get away. So I have to wonder where we're going to be going here. I imagine this is going to be for a bit of a medevac drop. We don't have a tech lab here for an add-on switch, especially because of the positioning of our units. We do have a couple of Hellions that are being banked up, do have Marines on the way, so yeah, bit of a Hellion drop being set up here. I'm assuming. Well, meanwhile, the Hellions, they do want to be saved here. The wall is a wall. The first Stalker being so annoying and so pesky. Vindicta going to want to expand behind this as well. But he's just stuck here on one base, and these vanilla Marines are going to have a hard time dealing with one Stalker. Like, this one Stalker is insane. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, there we go. There's that medevac for that Hellion drop. We do have, I believe, yes, 3 Hellions so far. We're going to have a 3rd Hellion soon. The Reaper across the map was able to dip in and confirm the gateway, but I don't believe we saw the Twilight Council. Oh, no, we did. Thankfully, we did. And there we go. Oh my god. As this is gonna get scattered. Everything gets scattered. Nina even has control of the watchtower as well. The Hellions are gonna try and move out on the right-hand side, but the Stalkers are here to intercept. At the same time, this medevac already taking a couple of shots as well. Jesus. Okay, so at least the wall isn't a wall. Maybe Nina didn't spot these Hellions because right now she is hyper-focused on the medevac drop. The Hellions are gonna slip into the natural base. No response! Oh my god, she clearly did not see this in time. The probes line up! Oh my god! 9 probes going down and counting. The drop still hasn't really come into play yet. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab. 14 probes, and I was afraid to look because this medevac did not commit, did turn around, didn't want to get thrown away. 14 probes. For 3 Hellions, that was beautifully done. I was really afraid that the Hellions were scattered here across the map, and they barely were, but it looks like Nina herself did not see them. Oh boy. Meanwhile, we do have a proxy pylon being set up. We have 3 gateways for the time being with Blink. We could be seeing a proxy 4th gate across the map, just because Nina knows how many probes she's lost, so a retaliation is going to be forced. At the same time, a medevac drop is going to go into the main. Scan sees that the army is missing. Oh, and this is a lot of Stalkers. We do have a tank in the main. Natural is looking a little bit exposed. No bunker here either. Oh, and the Stalkers reveal themselves. Again, because of the opener, we don't have stim. The tank is going to shell away at this. We do have the drop into the main base. Again, there is nothing here. Probes are going to go down. Nina has to respond in some way, whether it's a defensive warband at home or even a recall. There we go. 3 Stalkers do come back. But the target fire is on point. We see a force round, and this will be all cleaned up. This is nice damage, but at the same time, Vindicta is still stuck on 1 base. Here we go, pushing down the ramp. Oh. And eventually, with the slow crawl of tanks, Vindicta, he does regain control of his natural, is going to get it up and running. We have double Banshee harass, and oh my god, there's 0 detection. The double Banshees, puppy, let's go. No, there's no observers. No, Vindicta, don't get faked out. Wow. Observer only just now starts. Vindicta could have dealt more damage, but he's being safe. He's at least forcing all the probes off the mineral line, though. At least that. And here we go. The observer finally comes out. Forcing Vindicta back. Regardless, you know, this is great harassment across the map. It does keep the probe count of Nina a little bit lower as well. It's behind this. Vindicta goes straight for his 3rd CC. So, I appreciate this as well, just because we saw how long it took for Vindicta to take his natural base, and he is still behind in the worker count because of that. So going for a faster 3rd makes plenty of sense. We have seen that a lot of Terran players do like to favor a more heavy racks count before the 3rd, but like just because of how this game was played out, I appreciate this. God, I had to I like how I had to explain it in the chat. Voltron was my favorite toy as a kid. There we go. Some people get it. Some people get it. Banshees in the main base again, trying to dip one in, but the observer is going to be able to keep tabs on them. Do have the Stalkers being into the main, and ooh, they do get a tech lab. Very nicely done. Doesn't overcommit. Doesn't overextend. And we are going to be getting into a bit of a longer game here. But Nina's approaching this in a different way. Last game, we saw Nina go into a very fast Robotics Bay, into fast Colossus, and then Mass Disruptor. This time, because Nina's robo was a little bit later, it looks like she's going to be relying a lot more heavily on Gateway units to begin with, and then relying on Storm. And I really like this because I think Nina decided to go for Storm after she scouted the 3rd CC. Because she knows that Vindicta isn't going to be anywhere near as aggressive anytime soon. She knows that she has the time to get out Templar Archives, to research Storm, to gather energy on these High Templar, and there's nothing Vindicta can really do about it. We can see his army is quite small right now. He's moving out just to expand, not to push out. So Nina can safely take a third base, you know, gather energy, warp in more High Templar, work on more tech, work on upgrades. Whereas Vindicta is more struggling to expand, take his third. Oh boy. What I will say though is that, you know, even though Vindicta is having a bit of a slower start here, like his economy's looking quite strong, is keeping up with Nina's actually, which is not something you can always say. Production's getting up and running, we finally have stim, we're getting the rest of our upgrades, combat shield, concussive shell, our tank count is looking quite healthy. Tanks can always be a little bit awkward when being aggressive, but defensively, like, they're amazing. And Nina is actually looking to be the aggressor instead. Now, what's scary is that she does have Storm and 2 High Templar in this War Prism. Oh my gosh, she's going for the mineral line. Up. Ooh. Only 1 Storm. A little bit greedy there. She lost both High Templar. It takes 2 Storms to kill a mineral line. She only got 1, and that cost her 2 High Templar. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, those were the only 2 High Templar with the army. She has 2 more back at home. And just like that, Nina has to back off, and Vindicta is looking pretty good. Ghost Academy on the way. We're gonna have enhanced shockwaves for our Ghost. We could see a 4th CC. Everything is looking pretty up here after that little bit of a blunder. A very expensive blunder, I should say. Now Nina backs off, she's taking a 4th, and this is going to allow Vindicta to kind of flex his strengths and go for his multi-prong harassment. We have 2 medevacs head towards the main base. We have these 2 banshees from the early game looking to head in towards the natural as well. We could even see another force, which we see here, getting ready to hit that 4th. Nina, currently her main army is a little bit preoccupied here in the middle of the map, not quite set up to deal with any kind of drop. Ooh, as out comes Vindicta with his tri-prong attack. Ooh, is gonna run into the army. Doesn't really want to mess with this. And what's scary is that this drop may just force Nina to go all in. She may just, again, upon seeing units in her main base, just commit to a big attack. It looks like she will not. She turns around and she's coming back home. And this drop is dealing a surprising amount of damage. Meanwhile, the Banshees are coming in as well, just to help out. Again, providing a lot of DPS and also slowing down the reinforcements. The Templar Archives goes down. No more Head Templar, no more Storm. Other than what we have, of course. This did cost the lives of those 2 Banshees, so F's in the chat for those Banshees. Looking at the units tab, we have 4 High Templar. All 4 of them are in this prism. We still have that double drop waiting outside the main base. The rest of the army is going to be pushing out. We have those EMPs. We have enhanced shockwaves. But Nina, I don't know if I like this. Like, she has the War Prism to flank Storms and maybe even harass, but if there's an engagement, like, her High Templar are so far away from the main army, like, it's going to take a while before any kind of splash damage can really take part in the fight. No. But I guess she has faith because we do have double robo production. Colossus, Disruptors are coming out. We're getting every form of splash damage. Up. Ooh, sick EMP. Storm does not connect. And Nina just sharking around here, trying to catch the army off guard. 2-2 going to be on the way immediately here for Vindicta. We still have that double drop waiting outside that main base. As Nina rotates around, and I worry because Vindicta, his tanks aren't in position. Not yet. We have Stim to just run on back. Tanks are repositioning. Widow Mines as well. We have the double drop into the main base, but ooh, there is an army to meet him. Forces are warping back at home. A lot of supply actually committed to this defense. On Vindicta, he wants it. He wants it. Where's the prism? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's at home. I was like, I don't see it in the middle of the map. Where did it go? It went back home. Speaking of going back home, here we go. There are those storms. There are those feedbacks as well. One of the medevacs goes down. Liberator doing what he can, but this actually opens things up. The entire army went home? Question mark? I mean, the Liberators are being quite annoying, but this is opening things up. The main army does hit that 4th base, but Migs, he turns around. I don't know about that. I do think there was an opportunity here to at least take down the sag defense. He's waiting for his reinforcements. Drop going back into the main base as well. We see the scan. He does confirm the location of that army. Rotating over to the right-hand side instead. Love to see it. Oh. This drop getting a little bit out of hand. Oh my god, we don't go there. Oh god! The disruptor's waiting, puppy! Some sick EMPs. But again, pushing up a ramp into shield battery, cannons, overcharged disruptors, and Colossus, it's never a pretty sight. Unless we get some good tank shots, to be fair. I think again, Meg's going to be repositioning a little bit here. Slow crawling this ramp. We see a stim on forward as well. We do have the overcharge. Novas are going to be going off and they only connect with one tank. Oh god, a second overcharge. Nice target fire there on the disruptor. Oh, but the storms blanket literally everything. Ay. Tanks are going to go down. It looks like Nina's going to be able to break on through. She will barely keep one of her Colossi alive. And it's going to be enough to force Vindicta all the way back. Both players did lose a lot in that fight, to be fair. And it looks like Nina isn't going to overextend. Dropping down to 1 Colossus and 1 Disruptor. And yeah, both armies, they just bounce off each other, you know? The economies are pretty even. Defender's advantage on Data C is a little bit too great to really keep pushing. We're just going to chill out and rebuild. And I think that's a better thing for Vindicta, specifically because the High Templar were killed and only just now the Templar Archives is being made. So it's going to take a long time for Nina to get Storm again. And I feel like Storm was a major part of that fight. I feel like if it wasn't for those High Templar, we would have had a very different outcome. Meanwhile, more Libs are on the way. Lib range is done. 3-3 as well on the horizon. Nina posturing in the middle of the map, trying to find a way in. And now Vindicta, he has enough supply. He's feeling confident enough that he can go for a couple of drops. I mean, I love the SimCity here. We don't have any tanks or Widowmines though. That's the biggest thing that worries me about Vindicta's position. Nina doesn't know that, but we know that. Oh. As we have a little bit of Lib harass here. Just getting 2 probes, nothing too major. And Nina sharking around trying to find a way in. Do have another scan. Army has been spotted. Liberators are sieging up. Oh, we have a blink on forward and not a bad trade here for Nina. It's 4 stalkers for a Lib. Meanwhile, that drop on the top left also does get met by an army. But this main force of Nina doesn't look too imposing, not gonna lie. We do have a lot of disruptors, which is probably the scariest thing about it, but that's it, really. Don't have that many charge though, so don't have that many stalkers either. Nina will back off. He's just gonna commit to more drops. we're gonna slow things down, and I appreciate what Nina's doing with this kind of breathing room that she has with this kind of stalemate. We do have a second Stargate and a fleet beacon on the way. Or first Stargate, sorry. Maybe the second. Nina trying to find a way in. Gonna be fighting in Lib zones. Not ideal. But again, she wants to get rid of some of the supply. She wants to go into carriers. Nova's going to be going off, taking down that bunker in the end. Liberators do shell away at that main army. Oh, and Nina has to get the hell out of here before it's too late. I do think that at any moment, Vindicta is going to pounce. A couple more zoning Novas, but I think she stuck around a little bit too long. Every single disruptor is going to go down, as well as the Colossus. We have 1 zoning Storm. And it looks like it is going to force Vindicta back. But the problem with that move out for Nina was that a lot of her supply was at home. Oh, EMP does connect. We have a flanking Nova. Sorry, we have a flanking Storm. I'm still waking up, okay? Oh. Speaking of, there is a Storm, another flanking Purification over as well. But Vindicta is just out trading Nina right now. There goes the Prism. Oh my god, even with the Head Templar inside it. I think he's finally been able to do it again. Slow and steady, slowly out trading, slowly being more efficient. Liberators pushing on forward as well. We have no more Head Templar, no more Colossi. Only one Disruptor with the army. Only one. Okay, now two. Now three. Oh, never mind. Nina's fine. And here come the carriers. And again, I do think that the pressure is on Vindicta to try and deal some damage before the carriers come out. The longer this goes on, the more scared I am for him. Wait, here we go. The Liberators, they do end up sieging, getting so much damage done on those Stalkers. Again, every single time I feel like Vindicta is trading better here, but it may not matter. Another stim on 4. Nina being backed into a corner right now. We do have a couple of flanking High Templar, but I don't think they have enough energy for Storm. No, they need a little bit more time. There we go. Ooh. Storm is going to connect the Disruptors. They waddle into their deaths, into the lib zones. The carriers reveal themselves. It looks like the army in the top left is going to be completely cleaned up. But... oh yeah, it's only one carrier. Nina? We need to get the hell out of here. The army falls, the base falls. Vindicta has so much momentum going his way. And again, maybe Nina teched up the carriers a little bit too quickly. Or was a little bit too aggressive with her main army. Again, with that fight in the middle of the map, losing all those Disruptors. That was a game-winning move for Vindicta. And now there are no Interceptors left. Oh. I was worried that maybe we would get a 2-0, but no, it is not going to be the case. We do have a half-decent Purification over connecting here, but again, the carriers are just not going to be enough. Vindicta is going to look to take this all the way to the ace match. Oof. And these Novas for Nina are doing wonders, don't get me wrong. They're getting work done. They're getting work done. But it's going to be a little bit too much. GG gets called, and there it is. Vindicta ties it up 1-1. We're going into game 3. Let's go. Let us go. Oh boy. I didn't expect this series to be so intense, but it's Vindicta playing, so I guess I should have expected it. We are going into our ace match. And we'll see where we end up. Again, a bit of a slower game here for Vindicta. It took a while. If you remember, he was kind of turtling up on 3 bases after the opener. But the opener did a lot of damage. That Hellion Harass got out of control. And once Vindicta was able to, again, just defend on those 3 bases, get his tank count up, eventually get a 4th, he was able to, take up quite nicely. There were a couple of key moments, though, right? When it came to the Head Templar being thrown away, the drop sniping the Templar Archives as well, really hindering the splash damage of Nina for a long time. As literally everyone is here. Chicken Man, Biomorph, Steadfast, and Pig, they have all joined us. Welcome, welcome. Which I guess means that we have a couple of updates in the bracket, so let's have a look if we have any surprises. Björn has 2-0'd Mixu and 2-0's Exo Striker. Björn is waiting in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, it looks like Trigger did take down Pig 2-0 as well. Do we have updates on Honmono? We do. Max Pax is waiting for the winner of this very series, Vindicta versus Nina. Oh, and Maples 2-1 Raza? Oh my god. That's impressive. I didn't expect Maples to pull it off, but congratulations to Maples. Did get 2-0'd by Nice, but taking down Raza is not an easy feat. And here we go. We're diving into the ace match because spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the American Terran player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the American Protoss player representing Team Licensed to Kill LTK. It is Nina. Oh boy. So yeah, we already have two semi-finalists. We have Bjorn and Nice, kind of who we would expect. Meanwhile, the winner of this series will go up against the Max Packs, and we'll also move on to the semi-finals match to face Nice. So Vindicta has nothing but Protoss ahead of it. Oh boy. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, to be fair, I do think that ESL Open Cup Americas, I mean, all the ESL Open Cups are a great practice versus Protoss if you want it. As every region is quite Protoss heavy. Oh. Well, to be fair, ESL Open Cup Asia is becoming a little bit more Terran heavy recently. Yeah, as a couple of the Protoss players have been stepping back a little bit. Mainly talking about players like Classic. I don't think Hero was there last week either because of GSL. Not as many Protoss. No. But for now, Vindicta has gone for a single gas racks expand, so much more economic opener here. We do have a bunker being set up behind the mineral line. Looking at the vision of Nina, she is none the wiser. So yeah, a cheeky start here for Vindicta is going to be able to force some lost mining time. As the Reaper should be able to get across the map and the bunker should finish. Oh boy, there we go. We do see that Nina finally recognizes that the bunker is on the way, but it's a little bit too late. The bunker does complete. And now immediately Nina throws down that shield battery. A very nice response, honestly. Oh, as the SCV goes down. I say very nice response. I mean, a very quick response from Nina. Because the shield battery is on the way, like, again, this bunker isn't going to last too long. This is being just as annoying as possible, trying to chip away at it. But again, shouldn't really be able to do too much here as Nina is switching things up in the ace match. Every single game so far, Nina has been pretty predictable. We have seen just 3-gate Blink Stalkers every single game. 3-gate Twilight Council, I should say. This game though, as the Reaper gets killed before scouting the tech, we don't see a Twilight Council. We see a Stargate. My oh my. Nina going for a Stargate is interesting. So one, Vindicta's in the dark right now. He has no idea what he's up against. He's going to be playing it a little bit safe. We do see that Widowmines are being set up here defensively back at home before he goes for the drop. Is planning to go for a drop eventually. But I do worry for him because Nina could double down and commit even harder to this aggression. As the first Oracle is going to be on the way. There it is, second Oracle behind it. The Adept on the front line is going to be shooed away by these Marines, and we are setting up for a drop. Meanwhile, we see a scan into the main base. Honestly, a pretty crucial scan. He does see the Stargate, sees that a second Oracle is on the way, and that the first should already be here. Up! Ooh. That Oracle flying too close to the sun goes down immediately, just like that, without getting a single SCV kill. Beautifully done here by Vindicta. We do have a second Oracle on the way, don't get me wrong. We have a third Oracle on the way. This is kind of what I expected here from Nina. She wants to double down. She wants to get damage done by her opener. Oh god, but is this a little bit too stubborn? We'll see. As Vindicta is going to be moving out with these Marines, and is he going to come across the Oracle? Uh-oh. Okay, Vindicta, he doesn't quite come across it. Looks like does force a revelation on his army. As Nina doesn't commit to going across the map. With this, Nina's going to be repositioning here with her Stalkers. As a reminder, there is no stim. These are vanilla Marines, so they're going to have a hard time kiting and dancing with those Stalkers. But here comes that tank. Oh my god, I thought it was a Cyclone, but no, it's a tank. Wow. With the support of this is almost like a Dollar build. There we go. There is the cancel. Vindicta is going to just shut down this third. And keep on pushing from here. Behind this, we have the third CC, so he's not all in by any means. Is working to just get ahead economically behind this, forcing Nina on 2 bases. Bunkers are being thrown down. Widowmine shots still have not been triggered either. Oracle's trying to do what they can, but they get zoned away. Even if they did dive on top of the tank, they would just be annihilated. Speaking of, ooh, an unfortunate position there for those Oracles. Nina somehow is able to sneak a probe past that ramp though, and she will have a third on the way. I don't think Vindicta has not noticed. As he is going to be containing Nina here to 2 bases, or that's what he thinks anyway. Again, he just doesn't have eyes on that third. Smooch, puppy, smooch. Meanwhile, 1 tank goes down. Not a bad trade at all. Oof. Does the Oracle survive? I can't believe that Nina made 4 Oracles this game. And again, like, because the threat has already been taken, I don't think she's in too bad of a position. There we go. Vindicta does rotate over towards the triangular third base, does finally get eyes on it, but I think it's a little bit too late. I think whenever he does on siege, like, this army is going to jump on him. Even now. There we go. As Widowmines go down, and I love this from Vindicta. He immediately picks up that tank. He has to get the hell out of here. And he's going to be able to minimize his losses. This could have been a lot worse here for Vindicta. And with this, he is able to take a nice lead in the economy. Not the biggest lead that he would have liked. Again, best case scenario would have been straight up containing his opponent to 2 bases. But Nina was wise enough to take that third in the end. And, oh, Nina is going crazy from here, going straight into double robo. She wants to get into those courses as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Stim is still not done for Vindicta, so he's having a hard time trading with these Stalkers. Plenty of stasis traps being set up as well. 3, 4 in the middle of the map. My god. Up. Ooh. Very nice Stim, but oh, the station trap goes off, catching half the army. Aye, aye, aye. Meanwhile, we have another station trap here on the right-hand side. It does get scanned, thankfully. This could have been so much worse here for Vindicta. And with that, he's going to be able to finally force all of this back, especially with these upgrades finishing up. Maybe fighting a little bit prematurely, but okay, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. There is that bay immediately for Nina, going for double forge upgrades as well. I wasn't quite expecting that. Is going to be quite behind in those double upgrades, but she's working on them nonetheless. Going straight into a 4th base as well to help try and catch up in the eco. And yeah, we're kind of, after all said and done, we're kind of getting into, oh god, I was going to say a pretty even mid-game, but Vindicta does lose a full medevac there. Was hoping to try and sneak past the army, but alas, was not meant to be. And from here, like, sure, Vindicta's going to be going for some drops, but Nina should be in, like, full defense mode right now. She has a massive army here already at her 3rd. We already have some shield batteries and some cannons being set up at her 4th. Stalker army checking the tanks of Vindicta. Again, it's going to take a while for Nina to really get her tech up and running, but she is more than willing to defend at home for it, right? Whether it's getting the Colossus count up and running, Disruptor count, Storm, High Templar, Templar Archives on the way. Until that happens though, I do think that she is a little bit vulnerable right now. Sure there are 2 tanks, but sure there are 2 Colossus, but only 2 Colossus. I just don't think Vindicta can really hit any kind of timing anytime soon. As Vindicta actually forgot about 2-2. 1-1 is done. We don't really have any resources for 2-2 to be fair. It's going for a 3rd NG bait? As we have him drop into the natural. Again, just pulling apart the army a little bit. Oh my god, great split as well. The Marines are going to be cleaned up, but again, nice distraction nonetheless, as the main army of Vindicta is going to be able to force a cancel on this 5th. And we even have a couple of Liberators. Oh my god. Liberator at the 4th, Liberator in the main, dropping the natural. You'd love to see it. And a hit at the 5th. So all of this is just a great job for Vindicta to just, again, slow Nina down, contain her for these 4 bases. Interesting choice by Nina to not go for a Void Ray, but actually going for a Phoenix to help deal with these libs. Interesting. And something that I'm surprised by is that Vindicta has not stopped tank production. Something that players usually get out of after some time. Vindicta is just doubling down on just nothing but tanks. Tanks and libs, to be fair. It is going to mean that his army is going to be quite powerful, but also quite immobile as well. Okay. Phoenix already getting a lib. Not bad. What the main army lacks in mobility, well, we're making up for that in this triple drop. Going towards the northern base. Nina's main army pushing on through though. We are lacking a lot of our supply here. Oh boy. Thankfully, because of the sensor towers, Vindicta does spot the army. And I don't think we want to push into 7 tanks. Not the wisest move. Oof. This 1 tank does go down. Liberators are taking a little bit to siege up though. So we have that triple drop and it does force a recall. Ooh, the EMP was a little bit too late. Smurge, Papi, smurge. But again, because of that recall, Vindicta is looking to try and dive on this army. Nice movement though from Nina. Liberator does get across the map, but runs into that Phoenix. And the tanks are going to have a hard time repositioning here. Some of them will, don't get me wrong, but there are only 2. Uh-oh. Gonna have a couple of EMPs. Novas are going to go up on said tank. Now only 1 tank in position. SimCity is going to be good enough. Meanwhile, Vindicta goes for a mass round as well. Does he have enough to collapse on the army? It looks like the flank on the left-hand side is going to collapse, but he does get the Colossus. And without the Colossus, without the Disruptors, Vindicta, he takes a massive fight. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit too much here. Nina. Oh my god. Just completely getting out-positioned here. I'm in shock. Especially because the majority of the tanks weren't even a part of that fight. The surround just came out of nowhere. And Nina plummets in supply. She was sneaking out these bases, by the way. I did notice the 5th and the 6th. But she's never going to be able to make use of them. She needs some miracle purification Novas. They have to be absolutely insane. We'll see how good they are. We have 4 Disruptors. But the tanks siege up. The patient play here from Vindicta. It is going to mean that Vindicta is going to get up this ramp. The hard part is over. And I just don't know if I can believe this much in these Disruptors. I don't know, Papi, I don't know. Oh, we do have a surround though. Zealots coming in from behind. A lot of libs are being taken out. And it's going to be go time. Vindicta, he sims on up the ramp. He's going to try and collapse on this Nexus, on this base, on this army. Zealots are going to come in from behind, but there's just so much fire here. And the target firing is insane. Once again, every single Disruptor goes down. The tanks are going to be taken down by those Zealots, to be fair. The Vikings land, and it looks like the Zealots are going to be a little bit too much. Zealots are pretty good units. Not gonna lie. But that still was a better trade for Vindicta. Again, resetting that disruptor count was massive. If only he could do something about these bases. That's the biggest issue right now. Do you see a scan here towards the top? Vindicta has spotted these southern bases, by the way. Does have eyes on them. I see in the chat. Like, you're doing a great job for a person with no pants on. You don't know that I have no pants on, okay? Excuse me. Este no clone. As it looks like Nina's going to be rotating here towards the south. Vindicta's still ahead in supply. It'll force the siege. Oh my god, the target fire once again. The Marauder hit squad takes down another disruptor. At the same time, we have a little bit of DT harass here towards the north. Nina doing a great job at holding on. Like, there was a moment where she was behind, what, 70 supply. But again, it's still so difficult coming back from behind. So we stim on forward once again. Overcharge was wasted. We don't really have a lot of army here defending these disruptors. Nina splitting up her army. Isn't able to save her fresh base. And Nina's army is overextending a little bit here. Not gonna lie, Vindicta, we'll see what he wants. He wants to try and cut this off. Uh-oh. Alright. Nina, once again, just being a little bit too aggressive here with her stalkers. We have a couple of Zelts coming in from behind there, so who is really getting surrounded? Vindicta's still gonna come out with a bit of a better trade in the end. Oh! Ooh. Very nice last second scout there. Scout? What? Split? But again, Vindicta just having a hard time closing things out. A couple more Marauders going down. I just realized how many Archons we have. My god, we have Storm? We don't have Storm. That explains it. But I think we can all see that there just is no answer to the Liberators. Like, the Stalker count isn't that high. Archons have a hard time closing the distance. Disruptors obviously don't shoot up. These Freedom Zones, they can be a little bit too much. And there we go. With these EMPs, the Archons aren't going to hold a candle to this army. Novas, they zone away portions of the army, I guess. But the splits are just so damn good. Every time the Novas, they only get a single unit or two at most. Even they're only a single disruptor, and that was every single Nova. Really, it's the Zealots that are really pushing this back. Surprisingly. The zoning Nova going off. We do have two disruptors with this army. More Liberators coming on in. And Nina's just being bullied back. The Liberators were a little bit late to siege, but even with being late, doesn't even matter, puppy. Oh. Oh my god. I mean, I appreciate the switch from Vindicta. Like, he's microing his heart out with these units, mate. Oh my god. His macro isn't slipping too much either. Rally is a little bit misplaced though. And Nina is fighting back. Again, just doing what she can with her army. I don't really think that she can win a head-on engagement. Oof. Oh my god. As Nova's doing a great job at, again, just buying her time. But as we've seen, like, because the splits have just been so damn good, like, Vindicta just doesn't even care. It doesn't even matter. There is, I do think that maybe the one opportunity here for Nina is if she can catch the majority of these Liberators unsieged, or just pick them off, period. I do think that she can kind of come out ahead, But like moments like this, she gets one Liberator for the cost of 6 Stalkers, you know? Like it's just so impressive here when you have ground toss against mass lib. Oh, but finally one good Nova goes off. It's what we've really been waiting for, but is it too little, too late? Is it too late, Bumpy? I think so, as the entire army sims on forward once again. Nina just couldn't get the Novas that she needed. And for the second time this game, she plummets in supply. We see another scan confirming the lack of army here, confirming only a single disruptor. The army's going to sim on forward, focus it down. GG gets called, and Vindicta takes the series 2-1. GG. Again, it was really hard to see a way to come back for Nina when we saw how invested Vindicta was in Liberators. He was getting +2 air attack, by the way, airship weapons. And with the sheer amount of Liberators, like if we're not going into Sky Toss, or if we're not going into, it's really Sky Toss, right? Like it's so difficult to really make Blink Stalkers work there in that position when you're behind. Yeah, it's just really hard to envision a world where she can win a fight without being pushed back and being pushed, not just pushed back, but being pushed further and further back to her fresh mining bases, which is exactly what Vindicta was doing. GG, well played. And Vindicta will take the series 2-1 and move on to face another Protoss. Let's go. GG. And we will be following Vindicta into his next series. His next series is going to be a little bit harder though, as he does have another Protoss player ahead of him, a stronger one at that. One of, if not the best Protoss player in all of Europe. And that is going to be MaxFax.